Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to this episode of Astros Baseball. And finally, we get to talk about the Astros sweeping somebody instead of somebody sweeping us. And today, joining me, my girl, Stadium Steffi.
What's up, friends? Good to be here. Excited to be back, even though I was kind of back halfway last week, I think.
Yeah, you joined us on one of the fair fouls.
Oh, man.
So let me
Love
ask
it.
you this. We have some breaking news, folks, but I want to ask her this first. Do you watch any kind of stuff like The Circle?
I love The Circle. I actually want to start watching the new season because I've been getting all of the TikToks of Paul Russell with his sister just ruining his life on this game on this game show. It
Dang.
is so funny. I feel so bad for the guy because, like, man, he is going through it with some of the stuff that she's saying. It is so funny.
I don't see that, but that's okay. So yesterday we went to the gardening center right after
Mhm.
work. So I stayed up all day and then slept like 15 hours.
Oh my gosh.
My whole Saturday was gone. I didn't get to watch the game. I didn't do
Oh,
anything.
man.
And then today we went to eat barbecue. We took my buddy over there because it was his birthday, and he was like, "Thank you so much for bringing me here." They were all blown away by how good it is, and it's in the middle of nowhere.
That's
So
awesome.
awesome. And I think I have the meat sweat, Steffi.
Oh, no.
I think I
Meat
do.
sweats are a rough time, man.
They
A
are.
rough time.
All right.
Made
Do
my
you want
s
to share some breaking news, Steph?
Yep, Joey
All right.
Loperfido is getting the call to the bigs. Super exciting news. Obviously, someone who the Astros highly touted prospect. And he is finally going to be making his debut with the Astros this week. So super exciting stuff for Joey. Exciting for the Astros. And I mean, right now they're riding such a high that you love to see stuff like this where some of these guys that are that future of this team are starting to come up again. So I'm
Where did you
excited.
see it at?
Someone sent it to me, and I think
Oh,
I saw it on Twitter too.
that's where
So
I
I saw
saw
it
it.
on Twitter, and someone else sent it to me as well. And I was like, "Hey, man, I literally just saw that. Like crazy
Yeah.
stuff.
The guy's got like 10 home runs already in the minor leagues, but if that will that
Absolutely
carry
crushing it."
over? I don't know, but hopefully it does. But that I saw it from Ari Alexander from
Yes, that's the
KPRC2.
one I
That's where I
saw
saw it.
too.
Oh, okay. And he's pretty spot on. So,
Yeah, he's usually pretty on it. So,
and they list him as outfielder, first base.
mhm.
So if any of you guys are tired of Jose Abreu, your relief may be coming soon.
Yeah, gonna be interesting.
Because Jose Abreu is just like Martin Maldonado. And I don't want to badmouth my boy, but when you have hitters 1 through 8 doing stuff, it doesn't matter what Maldi does. Now we don't have 1 through 8 to protect Jose Abreu, and it's not like Jose Abreu is the greatest infielder in the world. I mean, he just cost a lot. It's going to cost money to DFA him or get rid of him, but he
Mhm.
did have a good game yesterday, and we will talk about that later. I want to share this, Steph. This is probably your last podcast to send an email. Astros Baseball Podcast at gmail.com. I'm not going to spam you up. I'm not going to do anything. It's just an entry to win a free shirt from Ram Shirts. And I usually wear them every time, but I got my old Delaware on. The first
Oh,
state. I didn't know
rockin' Delaware.
Delaware was a first state.
The more you know. I didn't know that either until right this minute. So
It
just out
says
here
it. I
teaching
don't
me
want to
stuff on
show
the
my belly,
podcast.
but yeah, look, the first state. Well, yeah,
That's
yeah, I can't do it.
crazy.
I can't do it. So remember when I went with my son to where does he live? Maryland.
Washington, Maryland, right?
Maryland, and we drove to Philadelphia, and on the way there is a Delaware Welcome Center, the Joe Biden Welcome Center, and that's where I bought the shirt, 2 for $25.
That's
I
pretty cool.
got one for the wife,
Oh, that's cute. Matching
and
vibes.
we
We
wore
love
them
it.
today. We wore them today.
I love it.
I'll have to send you a picture.
Please do. I got to see that.
All right, guys, don't forget. Ram shirts is my favorite shirts, hands down. But I've never bought some from the other people, so maybe they're just as good. But I don't know. But I love Ram shirts, and just like that barbecue place, if I love something, I stick with it. Why go somewhere else when I know I like something else? But you know what else I like? Because I'm the king of segues. The Astros sweep the Rockies. They were both 7-19. and we had a fair foul or something, or it was a poll. Will the Astros reach 10 wins before they reach 20 losses? And Tuesday, we'll find out because the next
Goodness.
game decides it all.
That is crazy. Yeah, I know you said it on TikTok, I think. I think I saw that one where
Yeah.
you were asking, kind of posing that question of like, will they, won't they? Like, what's gonna happen?
I get
So,
on there and
oh
guarantee
man.
so much stuff. Like, where's your guarantee? Where's your guarantee? It's fun. I make them
Hey,
mad, guys. You should.
get the interactions up. Honestly, the hater video that I had posted from his intro,
Mhm.
so many Guardians fans are like, Clase did it first. And I'm like, I mean, okay.
I'm just showing you.
So
Quit
many
crying.
guys have this song. Also, I don't know what
Yeah.
you want me to do about it. Would you like me to go change the song for him? Like, I don't know what you want from me.
You're like,
But
dude, I
so
like it. I
yeah,
like it.
literally every single person I'm like, "Hey, cool for you." Like he's a trendsetter, I guess.
Yeah.
Awesome job. It's so funny. But yeah, people get real crazy about things on the internet and it's like, "Man, I'm just here to have a fun time and watch some baseball. Like, can we chill, you know?"
Heck yeah. All right. So game one, we are in Mexico City. The air is lighter than it is in Colorado. So I expected a
Mhm.
lot of offense. I think the Astros got a lot of offense, but the Rockies didn't really get the memo. But they started out a 2-run homer off Ronel Blanco in the first inning,
Oh
and we're
man.
down 2-0. And then top of the second, Cabbage. I like to see that. Cabbage had an RBI single, brought in Yiner. And then let's go to the third inning because I don't know if it's a fair foul. It probably was. Yordan Alvarez will hit a home run in Mexico City. It was pretty much almost a given.
Oh yeah, of course.
2-run blast brings in Chaz. It was like 461 feet. It was a
It was
shot,
nuts. It
and
was crazy.
we take the lead and we never look back.
Yeah, it was awesome. Also, too, I gotta say, shout out to me for putting Yordan Alvarez on my fantasy baseball team because this
Nice.
weekend he really showed up for me. So thank you, Yordan. Um, but yeah, I mean, with Yordan, you just expect that ball to fly out anywhere he is, especially when you're above sea level by that much. Like, you know that ball's gonna fly, and he did not disappoint. And then his second home run of the game apparently was the exact same amount of
Crazy.
feet. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, like
But
461
man,
or something like that.
yeah, it was
Four
in like higher
416,
400s, which is wild.
461. Yeah, it was
Yeah,
high.
it was crazy. Yeah. So it was good to see him get a hold of a couple of baseballs and get him out of there. So I'm not mad about that one bit.
Yep. So same inning, Kyle Tucker had a solo home run. His 6th homer of the year. We're up 4-2. Dubon drove in one. My boy Jose Abreu grounded into a double play, but JP3 scored. We're up 6-2. Yiner Diaz, who had a great series, he had a triple, drove in JP3. Abreu, my boy Abreu, RBI single brought in Diaz. The Astros are cruising 8-2, and that's when Yordan hit his second bomb.
Mhm.
That made it 9-2. 7th home run of the year. I would think he would have more, but that's still a pretty decent pace.
Yeah, I think too with Jordan, you've just seen him be like a foot away from a home run so often this season. And it's just like he's getting under the ball just a little bit too much. And it's ending up a pop-up instead of his normal in the second deck of the mezzanine, you know? So
Yeah.
it's been kind of crazy seeing him, you know. I mean, really the whole team has been not off to the best start in general. So for him to finally get a hold of a couple baseballs in a game, make them fly, like that's got to bring up the confidence quite a bit. So hopefully he can ride that high and you keep mashing baseballs out of Minute Maid Park when they get back this week.
Yep. Dubon drove in one. Jose Abreu RBI single again?
Again.
What's up with my boy? Chaz had an RBI single. The Astros, what I like about this, they go into the ninth inning and they're like, let's pound them some more. Let's put some
Mhm.
more runs on. And then Blackman had an RBI. 12-3. That was the final score. Ronel Blanco, 5 2/3, 5 hits and 2 runs. I wasn't expecting the starters to go very far because of the atmosphere they're playing in. I think you get a little more tired, and plus,
Yeah.
I'm expecting them to get pounded.
Yeah, I was actually very shocked with how well The starters did. I mean, Ronell, obviously, at this point, he is that one guy that when he comes into a game, you're like, all right, we're winning this game today. You feel that when Ronell Blanco, and who the hell would have thought, Who,
Yeah.
not me, that's for sure. I thought he'd be good. I didn't expect him to be that guy. But, when teams are in slumps, you always have to have that one guy that really makes you feel confident in your team. And he is that cornerstone for us right now. And it's incredible to see him. Obviously, he barely made the opening day roster. What was it? During the exhibition game is when
He was
Espada
the
told him,
last guy to
"Hey,
make it.
yeah, last guy to be put on that roster." And as a starter, when obviously in the minor leagues, he was one of the relief guys that, Dana and these guys looked at him and said, "I think he could start though." And
Yeah.
man, is he proving them right, because he is, man, again, he is just that cornerstone guy right now where when he comes up, you feel very confident in what this
You
team's going to do on a day when Ronel Blanco is pitching.
Yeah. I mean, he probably I think this is his I didn't even write it down. What is win it's 3 wins? And then there was another one where he didn't get the victory, but, like, this guy's put us in position to win all 4 games that he's pitched.
He really has. It's been
He had
awesome
8
to see.
he had 8 strikeouts. His ERA is 1.65. He it's amazing. It's like the Cinderella story of the year.
Oh,
Magic Man
absolutely.
came in and cleaned up the 6th inning for him to give up a 2-run,
Mhm,
2-run bomb in the 1st inning, and then to gather yourself and not blow up is
mhm.
pretty awesome. Abreu,
Huge.
3 strikeouts. Brian Abreu, wow.
Thank goodness. Abreu has had a little bit of a rough go of it lately, and so to see him come in, center himself, and to be able to get 3 strikeouts, oh man, it was good to see the Brian Abreu we know and love.
Yeah.
So, we'll take it.
Yep, and then Scott, every time I see Scott, I forget he's on the team.
Same.
Yeah.
Every time.
He had a hit and a walk and 2 strikeouts as well. And then Belak gave up 2 runs. Offensively, Jordan 3 for 5 with 3 RBIs. He scored twice. Tucker went 2 for 4. He had a homer and he scored 3 times. So Tucker was getting on
Crazy.
base. Abreu 2 for 5. He drove in 2. So I guess they didn't give him an RBI for that grounding into a double play.
They did not, yeah.
Okay. I was because I knew
I
he
thought the
had
same
2.
thing.
I knew he had 2 RBIs and I'm like, "Oh, I only wrote that he had 2. Did I miss up?" But I guess so. What else here? Diaz 3 for 4. Scored 3 runs, drove in 1. Pena, who's been amazing all year, 1 for 4. He scored twice. Dubon. I think Dubon came in for Cabbage, right?
I think you're correct, yeah.
I don't know why, but 2 for 3. He drove into the Astros. This is what we expected. We don't expect this every game, but we expect this in Mexico City. We would expect this in Denver,
Absolutely.
Colorado. 12 runs on 15 hits, 6 for 12 runners in scoring position. They only left 7 on base. They had a ton of guys on base. So leaving 7 on base, that's not that bad. They did great.
They really did, and I think too, in Mexico City, you finally saw them having fun again.
Yeah.
And I think that that is a huge part of who this team is they have fun playing baseball. And when that energy comes through, it's almost unstoppable for this team. And I mean, I know everybody was like, Astros, why are you scoring more than 10? And even myself, I was like, oh no, what's tomorrow going to look like? It was kind of like, oh no, should we brace ourselves? But they were having fun. I think the love from the Mexico crowd was just insane. I have a friend who was over there who was just talking about how crazy the game was and how the crowd was just nuts, and tons of Astros fans that traveled to be there in Mexico City.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you can't ask for a more incredible atmosphere. And I've heard this from friends, even in college, that in Latin American cities, baseball is so different than what it is here. It's loud. It's almost like how in soccer they have the people with the drums and the supporters section that are consistently causing that vibe, that excitement.
Mhm.
They do the same thing in Latin American cities where it is like such a vibe the entire time. So it's like for them to kind of have that little uplift and that again, I don't know, the atmosphere just, I mean, I think it really gave them that charge that they needed in this point of the season with where they're at.
I agree. Perfect timing to go to the
Yeah,
Mexico series.
absolutely.
Perfect timing. All
Also,
right,
the
game
cheers for
2.
Jose. Oh, I would say though, the
Were
cheers
they
for
doing
Jose
it?
Altuve were sick. I know just when they announced him, like I was watching the video of it and oh my god, that crowd was hyped for Jose Altuve. Like I don't think anyone got a much bigger applause than Jose, which how why would they? You know, it's Jose.
Y I don't know why. It's just kinda weird. 'Cause Jose Altuve is the nicest person in the world. He's so nice.
Yeah.
And you see him do so many nice things for kids, like, "Oh, hey, come here, kid. Let me sign this. Here, let me give you my jersey. Let me give you my batting
Yeah.
gloves." He never speaks ill of his teammates. He never
Never.
blows up on the field. He might miss up, but it never seems like he loses the composure, and even my brother's like, "I hate that guy." I'm like, "Why? Why would you why?" 'Cause he's not an Astros fan. It's like, "Why would you
Yeah.
hate that guy? That's crazy." But
Yeah,
I
literally
love
at spring
Altuve.
training, this either this year or last year, I can't remember. But there was a spring training where there was this kid that was talking to Jose Altuve and was just like, Mr. Altuve, like, would you take a picture with me? And he's like, yeah, of course, kid. So he comes and he's taking the picture with him. And he's like, hey, do you like my cleats? And they were these bright orange, like really nice cleats. And the kid was like, yeah, they're really cool. And he's like, okay, after I get done with batting practice, I'm gonna bring them. They're yours. And he was like, and I'll
Dang.
sign him and everything. And literally just like brought this kid signed cleats. Like this kid didn't ask for it. He just wanted a picture and maybe an autograph from Jose. And Jose just like made this kid's life. And he is
Yeah.
just that guy. So the excitement, the hype, oh man, the praise from the Mexico fans for Jose made my heart happy.
Yeah, and that kid's never gonna forget that.
Never.
All right, so game 2, Framber Valdez is back,
He's
and
back.
now you have Framber, you have JV, you have, Ronel Blanco, so at least now you have 3 really good guys. The last episode, I was reading that Javier is feeling better,
Hmm.
so we're about to have 4 studs coming up, and I'm pretty excited about it, but, top of the first, Jordan had a sac fly. We're up 1-0. Tucker, another home run. Homer number 7, 2-0. The
Hmm.
Rockies add 2 runs in the bottom of the second. I don't think they score again. Altuve had a home run. He has 7 home runs. And then JP3 hit his 3rd home run. And we are up 4-2.
Yeah, again, awesome stuff to see. I also love that Urquidy was sitting there having a conversation with the announcers when JP3 hit that homer. And they're like, how are you feeling about, Jeremy Pena looking a lot better this year? And he's like, man, he's just on his A game. Like, just had nothing but praise for Pena. And I thought that was amazing. Also, I love that they gave Urquidy, who is obviously a Mexico native, gave him some airtime, even though he's obviously injured right now. But they even did mention what you were talking about, how, Javier is getting very close to coming back. He's not far behind with Urquidy. The Astros are about to have a lot of more veterans starting rotation very soon.
Yeah.
And it does kind of feel like maybe that's been part of the issue is that, the pitching staff right now, it felt like aside from Ronel Blanco, they really didn't have an anchor, and so to have some of these guys come back that can maybe stabilize the beginning of the game a little bit more, who aren't gonna, when they give up a run or 2 runs, who aren't gonna panic the way that, maybe some guys with not as much experience are gonna do, you know, having those guys back is gonna be key, 150%. And it's gonna be a little bit of a logjam once everyone comes
This is the
back, and I think
logjam we all expected in spring
exactly,
training. Yeah.
exactly. So, it's gonna be interesting to see what happens, who gets moved around, who gets moved up, who gets moved down, who's DFA'd, all of those things once this all happens. So,
Ooh.
gonna be crazy, but like
It
a
is
good
it
kinda crazy.
Yeah, it's
So,
gonna be a good kinda crazy. That
a
sounds like
good
a
kinda
country
crazy.
song.
I'm
She's a
gonna
good
make a
kinda crazy.
actually, if you could tell Luke to create a country song called Good Kinda Crazy, let your
Yeah.
girl know, give me some credits.
He has another new song about something about the
No
cowboy.
way.
Something
Oh,
about
I
a
have to
cowboy.
check that out.
Yeah. You gotta follow him. He's a stud.
Just a little sidetrack there.
So the game is 4-2. It's still within reach for the Rockies, so the Astros need to do something, and then in the 8th inning, they're like, "Alright, let's put this away." Alex Bregman drove in Caratini, he got hit on the ankle or somewhere in the bottom half of his leg, and I was like, "Uh-oh." And, but he got up and ran, and Tucker grounded out, Altuve scored, and then Yainer Diaz, a 2-run double, 8-2. final score. I know it's the Rockies. I know it's a 2-game series. It but it's a sweep. It's all I told my
It's
wife,
a
"You know
sweep.
what? The Astros got swept like 3 times last year, and they've already been swept 4 times.
Yeah, it
So
is
it's so good."
crazy. It was so good to see, and I think too, it's awesome to have a catcher who does know how to hit. I loved Maldi, but again, like you said earlier, with Maldi, it was easy to hide him because everyone else was performing so well. But
Yep.
with the way that they've been performing, I mean, guys are getting hits, but they're not getting runs in, or they weren't until this outing.
Yeah.
And again, hopefully this is that turning point for the team because I mean, even on TikTok, people that are trying to talk crap to me, I'll say something because I'm always like, I'm just going to respond with kindness because I have no reason not to. So, I try and respond with kindness, like, hey, you know what? Your team's great this year. If they're great, I won't say it for like a team like
Yeah.
that's awful. But if their team's a good team, like there was a guy Mariners that I was like, "Hey, dude, your team's crushing it right now. Like, hope you're having a blast watching your guys." And he's like, "Yeah, thank you so much." He's like, "The Astros are going to turn it around. Like we all know they're going to."
There you
And
go.
hopefully this is that turning point for them. Hopefully that Mexico water did something. Hopefully they bring it back with them.
Yeah. And the thing
So
about it
yeah,
is,
it's
like,
crazy.
they're only 6 games out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the crazy thing is they
So
are not that far behind.
so Framber went 5 innings, 5 hits, and 2 runs, and those 2 runs were early. 0 walks and 6 strikeouts. Montero, another scoreless outing. Abreu, 2 more strikeouts. He had 5 strikeouts in 2 outings. And
Crazy.
then, Presley had a hit and 2 strikeouts, and then Josh Hader gave up a hit, but he looked pretty good, and he made a pretty good snag there at the end of the game.
Closed the door on him, which was good to see
Yeah.
from him. Yeah, I think too, Espada kinda touched on it during the post-game press conference about how Fromber really was just as good as you could hope he would be in his first start back. So he talked about how they wanted him to go 5 innings, he was able to do just that, and it really kept the team going. So
Yeah.
I mean, again, how can you not be happy about that kind of start from Fromber coming off that injured list, especially when last year he was so up and down. So definitely good signs of life there. And I mean, even his outing before the injury at home, his last outing that I remember, y- the crowd gave him a standing ovation because he was pitching well. And then I think Hader lost us the game in the
Right.
last inning or something, which unfortunately has been a little common. So, but
Yeah.
Fromber holding it down, and we're happy to see it.
They showed the stat about Hader again today that he gave up 6 runs all of last year, and he's already given up 7, so he's
Mhm.
not the Hader that we signed, but he can do it. I have faith in
100%.
him. Let's look at offensive, did I say offensive numbers yet?
I
Altuve
don't
2
think
for
so.
4? He's 2 for 4. He scored 3 times, had an RBI. Alex
Impressive.
Bregman had a decent game, 2 for 4. He's hitting 216. Kyle Tucker had a home run, 1 for 4. He's hitting 290. That's so much Kyle Tucker. Kyle Tucker just hits home runs and hits like 290 or 280. Pena, 1 for 3. He scored twice and had a homer. Caratini, 1 for 3. Yiner, 1 for 4. Astros, 8 runs on 8 hits. Very efficient. Very efficient. 2 for 5 with runners in scoring position. And if they got on base, they knocked them in. 2 guys left on base. That's pretty awesome.
Oh, what a good day today was.
All right. So it is time. We're going to announce our Ram Shirts player of the game, position player. Position player. Oh, wait. Position player, pitcher,
Sure.
and Coach Rose Award. And folks, we're going to do that right after this. All right, we're back. It's time to hand out some hardware. Steffi, are you ready? And are you pumped for this?
I'm pumped. I don't know if I'm ready, but I'm pumped. Am I ever ready for this? I always get so nervous because I'm like, what if I pick a bad player?
You're
But
not going to pick a bad
you
player.
can't.
It's all your opinion. It doesn't matter.
That is true. That is true.
All right, so let's start with pitcher. I have I have 3 nominees that I was trying to choose between. I thought Brian Abreu with his 2 outings and 5 strikeouts and no runs. Ronel Blanco with another great outing. But coming off the injured list, Steffi, I give it to Framber Valdez.
To be honest, those are the same 3 guys that I had. I am gonna go Ronel Blanco just because, again, at this point, he has been that guy. And for him to come out and you know what? Like you said, Rockies, when they get ahead, it can kind of rattle you, but Astros held it down, and Ronel Blanco didn't let these things phase him. He is continuing to just show his absolute worth as a starting pitcher
Yeah.
in this team, and it's awesome to see.
I think Blanco pitched 5 2/3, and I think he
Something like
walked
that, I
2
think you're
guys,
right.
but he had 8 strikeouts. So
Yeah,
he did do great. I think
incredible.
either one of these picks, you can't go wrong with either one of them.
You really can't.
All right, this one for me is tough. It's really tough. Position
It
player of the
is.
series. Eek. Do you want me to go
Oh,
first?
yeah, you can go
Okay, all
first.
right. So my nominees, and when I say nominees, that means they didn't get it. Yordan Alvarez. I didn't give it to him. Yainer Diaz. I didn't give it to him. I went with Kyle Tucker. He went 3 for 8 in the series, but he had 2 home runs. And it kind of seemed like the guys that did stuff in game 1 didn't do stuff in game 2, but Tucker had a home run in both games. Kyle Tucker.
I actually went with someone who's not on your nominee list at all, and I went
Mm,
Jose Altuve.
there you go.
I mean, I think Jose just did an incredible job, obviously getting on base twice via walks in the first game, and then getting another walk today, getting 2
Mm.
hits and RBI, like, he was just on he's the Jose Altuve we know and love him to be. He is just, again, oh, he's that guy. Again, I have to go with the guy who is that guy.
Those are stats, the walks that kind of get lost in my notes sometimes.
Yeah.
I don't
You know,
always
you
write
forget
stats.
about him, but I mean, it's so valuable to make sure you're getting on base by any means necessary, and he just does it every time, and no strikeouts for Jose either.
All right. Your Ram Shirts player of the series. And don't forget, folks, Astros Baseball Podcast at gmail.com. It's probably your last chance. Your probably last chance until next month. But
That's true.
we're gonna open it up everywhere. So this is your best chance to win one. Who do you
It's
got for
true.
Coach Rose? You already know mine.
Coach Rose, I think I'm going Yordan. I gotta go Yordan on this one. I have to. I love Yordan so much.
You can do that. It's the person that exceeds your expectations, or if you just want to give it to them, it doesn't
I
matter.
mean,
You
I
can do
really
whatever you
thought
want.
for Yordan, I expected him to hit 1 homer, but to
Oh,
hit 2 and hit him that insanely far, I just love Yordan. The
yeah.
RBIs, we love it. I love everything about Yordan, and he gave me fantasy points,
There you go.
so I'll
You
take
gotta
it.
love it. Well, mine is Jose Abreu.
I love it.
Jose Abreu, baby. I don't get to say it much, but I get to say it
You
today.
gotta do it when you can.
Jose, take advantage of it. He did go 0 for 4 today,
He did, in fact,
but
do
that's
that, yes.
expected. But to go
It's
2
true.
for 4 with 2 RBIs? Mm-mm.
Yeah, he stepped up majorly yesterday, and that was a good sign of life from him, but I want him to do it more consistently, and that's
Yeah,
because I know he can. I'm still one of those people that just for some reason, I blindly believe he's gonna figure it out
yeah,
because he is Jose Abreu, and I know people talk about, "Oh, the back of the baseball card," and, like, all that stuff, like, I'm not gonna say that, but it's like,
no.
you know what he's capable of, and you see how hard he's working, and you hear about how hard he's working from the team, from his teammates, from everybody else. That for some I maybe I don't even know that it'll happen, I just want it to happen for him, and I want it to click and for him to be a guy who people aren't, for lack of better words, pissing and moaning about every single
Yeah.
week, you know?
You're trying to
Um
wish it true.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'm trying to wish it I'm trying to manifest things, manifestation, you know?
The thing about it for me is you can badmouth them all you want, but you weren't badmouthing them, not you, a person listening. You weren't badmouthing them in September last year. You weren't
Exactly.
badmouthing them in the playoffs. because he
You're
was
bad mouthing
only one of
everybody else who
he was
wasn't
only
doing anything.
he was one of 4 Astros that did anything.
Mhm.
So if he can do that, he can turn it around. Hopefully, it
Exactly.
doesn't take him till September, but I don't know how short the leash is. I don't know. I really
Yeah.
don't know.
It'll be interesting. Also, I wasn't laughing at you. I have my, fake Stanley that I call my Fanley cup. It was
Family.
$5. It was $5 at Michael's. Amazing. Works just as good. But anyway, I have my family cup over here and I went to reach for it and I have my work computer right behind it. Almost toppled over on my work computer. So
Oh,
I was over
no.
here like, like trying to save it. And I saved it and then I panic laughed.
Yikes. All right,
Didn't
so
spill on the work computer. We're good.
here are the standings in the AL West because that's all I care about. So
Of
the
course.
Astros are struggling, but check this out. The team leading the division is Seattle. They're 2 games over 500. Texas is 15 and 14. Oakland 12 and 17. LA Angels 10 and 18. And we're right there, 9 and 19, 6 games back. It's going to take a while to catch up, but it's only 6 games. The next
Only
up they
6
got the
games.
Guardians, but the Guardians are doing really good this year,
And then we have
and
Seattle right after.
it's gonna be rough. We play good against Seattle for
Yeah.
some reason, but,
We usually
it
do. Yeah. But that team is a different team this year, and you can see it and you can sense it.
yeah,
So I think, you have to go into it with that mentality that this isn't the same old Seattle. They're doing a lot better this season, and it feels like they are in that moment where things are finally starting to click for them, the same way that we felt in 2017. Now, do I still think we can beat them 1,000%? I think we can beat anybody because I think we have that good of a team, regardless of the record at this point. But
yeah,
it's yeah, the Guardians are a tough team right now. The Mariners are obviously a tough team. Both of them are at the top of their division. So you're going to have to come in here with a really good mentality for these next 6 games. You
yeah.
have to.
I think the Astros offense is gonna get better because I think confidence has a lot to do with how
Absolutely.
you perform, and I think everybody knows that. But imagine you're getting ready for the game, and it's like, "Okay, JP France is pitching. Up, just gave up 5 runs. Okay, this guy's pitching." But now you're gonna go into games with JV, with Framber, with Rono Blanco, and I think having those pitchers is gonna help the offense.
I agree. And that Yogi Berra quote, I literally had to look it up to make sure I said it right. But baseball is 90% mental, the other half is physical. So accurate. The most accurate
Other
math I've ever. It's baseball math. It's yogi
Yeah,
math. There's
Yogi
girl
math.
math, there's girl math, there's boy math, and then there's yogi math.
Yep. So I don't know if I said this on the podcast or before we were, on the podcast or before.
When we were chatting.
But how we were saying, will the Astros we said this on the last episode, will the Astros win 10 before they lose 20 and against, Cleveland? We will find out, and that's gonna be a tough win.
It's gonna be a tough one for sure. Cleveland is, again, clicking on all cylinders right now. They're 19 and 9, and they're just doing very, very well. So it's gonna be very interesting to see how this week goes. But I have all the confidence in the world that these guys can make it happen and we can do some damage against the Guardians.
Alright, let's have a little bit of fun before fair or foul. Did you see our boy Brooksgate? You gotta follow him, guys, at Brooksgate. Brooks Gate. Brooksgate. The MLB stadium distance closest to Costco, and I got them all beat. I'm telling you, because Costco's right there. I could probably show it to you out the window. Atlanta Braves, 7/10 of a mile away. That's pretty close.
Crazy. That is so close. That's like down the street.
And then San Francisco, 1.25 miles.
Hmm,
I've been to San Francisco. Where in the hell is there a Costco down there by the stadium? Where and how and why? Like, how did that happen?
I'm about to Google this. I need to know. I need
Rig
answers.
Wrigley Field, 1.66. That's kinda weird that there's one there too. You would think that whole place is pretty much full of stuff already. And then Seattle, this is the first one that they're not in the bottom 5. Congratulations, Seattle. You are 1.76 miles away from your nearest Costco. City Field, 1.86. And Oakland is 2.3 miles away, but I would expect that Costco to close down pretty soon.
Probably. Yeah, honestly, Oakland is an interesting place to visit. Don't do it by yourself as a female. It's an
Yeah.
awful idea, and that's exactly what I did.
Yeah. The thing about Costco, though, you have to have a Costco card, so it's not like
That's true.
they're gonna badge their card in and then go.
That's true.
That'd be a hard place to rip off.
It would be tough, yeah.
Yeah,
It
but those
would
people
be,
don't care.
very tough.
The people that are robbing, they're just taking suitcases. I mean, like
Oh, yeah.
pillowcases and just jamming like
Mhm.
makeup, different crap in it. I don't know, but
Who even knows, man? Who knows?
who cares? I don't care. It doesn't happen here, so I don't think it does. All right, here is everyone's. I think it's everybody's. We've did away with it for a while, but I'm bringing it back.
I'm here
It's
for
fair or
this.
foul, Steffi. Excitement level 1 through
I lo
10.
Oh, 12.
Woo, yeah. All right, folks, here we go. You're listening along. Say your answers in your head because we can't hear you unless you comment.
Hey, feel free to comment, though. Let us know.
So I saw number 1, I saw a negative comment about something that happened in the game today,
Okay.
and you actually brought it up, so I think I know your answer. Fair or foul in-game interviews?
I like them. I like them. I think it's just one of those tough things where sometimes the in-game interview happens in an awful moment, you
Yeah,
know?
it's
Like,
all
if
about
they had been
timing.
yeah, like, if they had been interviewing the guy from Colorado and been like, "Oh, how was your pitching performance?" And then the Astros get ahead, like, of course, that's gonna suck. But I like them a lot, actually. I like the in-game interviews. I do think it was better because it was Urquidy who doesn't have to worry about the game. So I think
Yeah,
when they interview, like, managers and stuff, that is a little cringy, especially if
yeah.
they're, like, behind and stuff. I don't know that I like that as much, but
Mhm.
if they're interviewing someone who's on the bench, someone who, isn't as invested in what's going on in the game in that moment, I don't mind them.
Yeah,
So I'll say fair.
I think they're pretty interesting. What do you like
Yeah.
better, mic'd up players or in-game interviews? I
Oh,
like
mic'd
mic'd
up
up players.
players. Mic'd
It's
up players
awesome.
is my favorite thing.
If you complain
The
about that, I mean, you're just trying to find things to complain about because it's cool.
honestly, the, mic'd ups that they did with Kyle Tucker and with Mauricio Dubon during spring training were absolutely epic. They were so good. Kyle Tucker just has this, like, such dry, like, even-keeled sense of humor, and it is the
Mhm.
funniest thing to see when you're, like, listening to his mic'd up. So if you haven't seen it, make sure you go check it out.
All right, number 2, I also saw this on Twitter, and I'm gonna call it Twitter forever.
Same.
Somebody said maybe the Oxy patch is bad luck because they didn't have the Oxy patch on these 2 games.
That's true, but
Fair or foul?
Ronell,
The Oxy patch is bad luck.
foul. I think it's all just, like it's again, it's a mental thing. It's a mental thing, it's the atmosphere, it's a million other things. The oxy patch is not weighing these jerseys down so much that they are making our players play worse, you know?
Yeah.
It's just, it's just how life is, and
Thank you,
some days you're
Twitter.
gonna be winning and some days you're not, yeah. Also too, what's your answer now, Rob? Now I'm curious.
Ooh. My answer's what's the question? Oxy patch? No, it's
Oxy
foul.
yeah,
We went to the ALCS last year with the Oxy patch. How is that? It isn't bad luck.
exactly. Ronel Blanco and Fromber threw no hitters with oxy patches on their jerseys. Like, it's not the oxy patch.
All right, we got a comment from Bad Luck Brian, and it is probably
This is a fair
it
foul, and I'm in for this one.
it is probably the most well-timed comment in the history of Astros baseball.
Tell me that was your next question,
My
please.
next question was about Mexico City, but it's fair or foul. They should put an expansion team when they get it. They should put it in Mexico City.
I think that's very fair. I think that the way that they enjoy baseball in Mexico City, oh, it was phenomenal. It was awesome to see so many fans. And it wasn't just people from Houston or Colorado, it was a lot of fans from Mexico that were there to enjoy baseball. And it really does have such a rich and incredible culture for baseball in Latin America. So being able to expand that past just the US and Toronto would be awesome. I would 100% love that. And to answer Bad Looks Brian's question, 100%, and I will be buying merch.
Okay, I'll answer mine. Expansion team in Mexico City, that would be cool AF. It would be super cool. I don't know if the traveling, like when the Yankees have to play Mexico City, if that would work out very well. I don't know. I don't know
That
how
sounds like a New York problem and not
I
an
don't know how
us
the
problem.
logistics I don't know how
So,
the logistics would be, but if they have enough people to support a team, and I think they would,
oh,
because
I
they
think so too.
love baseball there, I'm for it. And
Same.
then my answer to Bad Luck Brian with his impromptu fair or foul. No, that is foul. We should not relocate to Mexico City
Do
because
it.
then
Relocate.
I couldn't go to any games.
It'd be way cheaper for me. I buy way too much stuff. I go to
You
too
can
many games. I buy too much stuff. I can't do it. I can't. I'm just kidding.
yeah.
I'm 100% kidding. No, we should not relocate, but if we did, I wouldn't hate it.
You know what I thought about today though, Brian? I was like, the Astros should play a series in Mexico City every year.
Every year.
Every year they should do this. I don't know how the fans reacted to I think last year was at San Diego and San Francisco or somebody like
Yeah,
that.
something
I
like
don't know
that.
how they react to them, but I think Mexico City will treat the Astros like a home team every time, and
Oh, every time.
I think they should go back. I love it.
Mhm.
All right, Bad Luck Brian. If you're still around, you can comment yes or no on this. You can keep playing along with us. Since I don't know if really this is like a Mexican thing, like a Mexican, not like I'm calling people Mexicans, but Raspas, fair or foul.
Oh,
Like
fair.
real good Raspas, not like
Fair.
the
Absolutely
junky.
fair.
Yeah, I love them.
Absolutely fair. Also, too, I mean, I'm a fan of the Corpus Christi raspas, so
Oh,
you
you
have to
are.
be. You have to be.
It
They're the
has to
hooks.
be good ice
It's
though.
their alternate.
It
So I'm a
has to have
fan of the baseball team, the Corpus Christi raspas.
raspa. It has to
Raspas.
be good like Bahama Bucks though.
Oh,
But it
yeah.
doesn't matter. Even if it's a bad one, I'm still gonna eat it
100%.
'cause I
Absolutely.
love me some raspa,
Mhm.
especially in this when it's
Same.
hot. I love it.
Oh, yeah. They're the best.
All right, number 5. This is, hmm, it isn't that bad. I'm just laughing about it because it was actually I don't know if I wanna ruin it for you. It was a question on the circle.
Ooh.
Yeah. They had their
Okay,
little
I'm in.
they had their little game on there, and it said who's most
Yeah.
likely to do this and who's the least likely. So they were, like, throwing shade on everybody. But anyway, fair or foul, you would break up with somebody over text.
No, me never. Never. Absolutely not. I feel like breakups, legit breakups. Now, if we're in like a situationship or we're talking and like we're not boyfriend, girlfriend, we've been in a relationship, like I feel like that's a little different, especially
Yeah,
if it's been like a month or something and you're like, "Hey, look, I'm not feeling this anymore." But I still feel like I'd at least call them
yeah.
probably. I don't think I would do it over text, but I do think that like when you're in a legitimate relationship, when you've invested time in someone, invested energy in them, they deserve a face-to-face conversation if you're deciding that, this isn't for you anymore. So I
See,
could never.
I've done it. But
Bob.
yeah, I've done it. But what you're saying though, it depends on how far along you are.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
if you're
Like,
saying, "Hey, lady, I'm totally committed to you. 100%
uh-huh.
I'm committed to you.
Exactly.
You're my girlfriend, I'm your boyfriend." Maybe
100%.
I wouldn't do it, but, like, just
Well, we've
someone
gone
you're
on a couple
talking to and
dates.
you're
Yeah,
going
like
on
we've been
dates,
on a
you're like,
couple
"Hey,
dates.
this ain't
We're not
working."
necessarily 100% exclusive. We're still kind of dating around, whatever. Like then, yeah, like, oh, hey, man, sorry, you're not in my top 3 or whatever,
But you know
Sorry.
what, on the other side, Steph? If someone's like, "Hey, meet me here and, we gotta talk." They're like, "Yeah, I think we should break up." And I'm like, "You coulda just text me, and I wouldn't have to drive all the way over here and waste my time."
See, I
I
don't
think it's
know.
fair. Break up with someone over the phone, folks. Who cares? Do it. I'm in because it wouldn't bother
See,
me. I wouldn't care.
See,
it
I
would
think
save me
I'm the type
time.
of person that, like, although I don't need to have, like, a super long 13-hour drawn out conversation, like, I wanna talk through it and be like, "Hey, you know what? Like, what
Why?
are"
You've
I
already
think for
decided you're
me
done.
no, not like, "Oh, I'm trying to change your mind," but, like,
Yeah.
in my head, it's like, "Hey, are there some things that, maybe I could do better in my next relationship?" That kinda thing. Like, for me, I like to know, like, how can I be a better person? And if it's nothing in regards to me, it's just like, "Hey, I liked somebody else," then I'm like, "All right, bet," move on. It
Yeah.
sucks, but, you move
Bad luck
on.
Brian's been ghosted.
Oh, I've been ghosted plenty of times.
I've been ghosted and I could care less.
Yeah. See, I don't
I
again,
just
it depends on how long the relationship has been, though.
it depends
Because
on
like
your own feelings towards that person.
yeah, that too, that too. That's a very fair point.
If you're kinda dating someone, you're like, "Man, I ain't really feeling it," and she ghosts you, you're like, "Heck yeah, dude. This
You're
chick
like,
ghosts
"Oh,
me," and now
finally."
you're like, "Now I don't have to send her a text."
Oh, man. I don't have to send her a text. I can't with you. No, but it's 100% accurate. It depends on how long it's been and how you feel about the person,
Yeah.
because I've been ghosted by some people that I'm like, "Oh, thank God that's over," you know? Like
Yeah, see? See?
and then there are people that I'm like, "Damn, he hasn't texted me in a while," you know? Just
Mm.
depends on the
Mm,
day and the
mm, mm,
person and how
mm,
you're feeling.
mm. Yeah. I'll never have to worry about that, though, but
Ah, lucky you.
I know, I'm
What's
sorry.
it like being God's favorite, Rob?
Oh, I'm not God's favorite.
I saw speaking of, relationships and whatnot, I saw this, reel today, and it was these little old ladies throwing flowers like flower girls, and, like, me when I finally get married and these are my bridesmaids. I
Golly.
said that to my friend, I was like, "It's me."
Well, I can tell you now, folks, if you're listening, Steffi and I could have a pretty sweet pop culture podcast.
We could, honestly.
We could honestly pretty much it'd be sweet. All
It'd
right,
be
folks,
fantastic.
Astros baseball podcast at gmail.com. Send it in. Win that shirt from Ram Shirts. If you don't like free stuff, then don't do it.
Exactly.
You got any final thoughts?
Again, that's astrosbaseballpodcast@gmail.com. I'm just kidding, I don't know, I just felt like pretending to be Siri for, like, 5 seconds. I regret nothing. Final thoughts, I'm excited for Tuesday, I'll
I
be there at the
regret
game.
nothing.
I'm taking my best friend with me, very hyped. So we're gonna enjoy some dollar hot dogs. I was laughing because she works for the Dynamo, and she was telling her boss that the Minute Maid Park hot dogs are just elite compared to the ones anywhere else around town, which is so true. They have the really good, what is it, Martin's potato bread buns.
Mm,
Oh,
yeah.
so good. So, gonna be there for dollar hot dog night. I should be there all week, which I'm super excited about. So, let's watch these guys get some dubs.
The only thing better than potato buns is the Hawaiian buns.
See, I don't know if I like Hawaiian buns with my hot dog, though. I don't know
I
if I
do.
like the sweet with it. It's just not my thing.
I do.
Like, I want an old American hot dog, you know?
All American. This is Nolan
American.
Ryan with the what's that? What's the beef called?
Nolan Ryan beef.
Nolan Ryan beef. I heard a commercial of him. I listened to it on the radio. He's doing air conditioning.
Also, if we could appreciate my new
What is
addition to my room, it's a burger.
it's a
He's a little
cheeseburger?
he's a little plushy burger. I saw him
Wow.
at Dollar Tree and I had to have him. I texted my friend Melanie and said, I need you to convince me not to buy this right now. And she said, I am the wrong person to text. And I said, excellent, because I really wanted to buy it.
I was at work and they were talking about burgers and they're like, "Hey, have you ever been to Mr. Juicy? It's really good." So I Google it and the logo is a burger
That's amazing.
and the lettuce is the mustache. The pickles are the
I need to see
eyeballs.
this. Hold on.
It is the most
Mister
amazing logo I've ever seen in my life. But it's a little restaurant in San Antonio. I don't think there's more of them. Can
I
you
know,
find it?
I wanna see this logo though.
I don't we gotta find it.
Mr.
Now they're like, "I
Juicy.
like the end of the podcast where they just
Where
ramble
they
on."
just talk about a bunch of really random stuff.
They just look at their phone and,
Sometimes you got to though.
"Where's the logo at,
Okay,
Mr.
that is fantastic.
There it is.
I love that logo so much.
Mr. Juicy."
That's amazing. I literally just found a YouTube video on it. That's so great. I love
Oh,
it.
it's the onion and a tomato are the eyes. The lettuce
Yeah,
is the mustache.
that is so funny though.
It's CAF.
Also, not to derail this conversation, but kind of to derail this conversation, Elon Musk putting out a tweet about, "Oh, so, like, X is better than Twitter, right?" And everyone is like, "Literally, no, my guy. Everyone still
Change
calls
it
it
back.
Twitter." It's like, someone made a comment and we're like, "Honestly, X sounds like we're trying to get on an inappropriate website,
It's
so
stupid.
no, it's
It's
not."
stupid. I mean,
So no.
that's why everybody calls it Twitter.
Everyone still calls it Twitter.
'Cause how do you
I think I've
tweet?
called it
Everybody calls it
yeah,
tweeting.
exactly. "I'm posting on my X account." That sounds so awkward.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Follow me on X.
Yeah, I'm like,
X
"No,
what?
no, thank you."
Ex-convict? If you broke up with an ex-convict, you'd have to text him. All right, that's it. I'm done. I'm finished.
Same.
That all right. That's it, folks, for Steffi. I'm your host, Rob Fontenot, and we'll see you next time on Astros Baseball.
Bye.